All right, here we go.
Wake up every day and say your affirmations. Go. Wake up every day and say your affirmations. Go. Wake up every day and say your affirmations. Go. Wake up every day and say your affirmations. Go. Happiness and kindness is a choice. Wake up.
Yeah, we ready. This is
We ready.
That's it.
We ready. We ready.
Okay.
Oh, y'all. Yeah.
I am
Yes, buddy.
I'm just checking to make sure that I have everything. Hold on. I don't know. Oh my God. Hold on. Let me go back. I just want to make sure I'm lined up. Yep. I am lined up. Okay, great. Things got a little heated before we even got on.
Let me take that off.
Just a tad bit, Diamond had to come through and be like, you know what, hold on, let's wait until the actual live before we start discussing this topic. I'm sorry, John, can you throw that question up there one more time, please?
Wait a minute. Let's do the introduction.
Yeah, I was gonna say yeah. Because I'm still adding too.
We gonna do the introduction.
God level is fired up. She ready to go.
This is okay. Well, let me do the introduction. This is things that people don't want to talk about. My name is God Level. I'm a nurse. I'm a mother. I have a podcast. I'm an entrepreneur. I am everything good. John, you want to go ahead and represent yourself?
Name is John Skywalker, the Sly Talker, lyricist, spoken word artist, martial artist, personal trainer, lover of life, student of psychology, and I'm a father. And that track that you guys just heard during the disclaimer is a song off of my upcoming album, The Law of Affirmations. I'm just waiting on one more track to get done, and I'm going to be releasing that this month, October 2022. It's just a quickie, 5 tracks. But aside from that, I have 3 hip-hop albums streaming on all major streaming platforms. Higher Dimensions, and Light Benders. If y'all like that positive, conscious lyricism that a lot of people feel is missing from hip-hop, go ahead and check that out. Go ahead and just plug that in. I mean, I hear the complaints all the time. Oh man, the songs, the music out here is garbage. Okay, well, support your local artists. You heard it from me. Go ahead and stream that up. And if you really like it, just go ahead and buy it. Just go ahead and buy it.
I did it. King Newborn, you want to go ahead and represent yourself? His mic is off.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah, there you go. Go ahead. Unmute the mic.
This is King Newborn.
I got it. You're good.
This is King Newborn. You can follow me on all social media platforms. And as always, I am.
Diamond, you want to go ahead and represent yourself? I'm trying to get through this as quick as possible. Let's go.
Okay. Well, I'm not going to hold you up my shenanigans. I am.
Okay, let's go back to the topic.
Neb Sabah Diamond. I'm here, always in service of you. Ashe.
Put that question back up, John.
All right. We're gonna ease into this, okay? So we're just gonna ease into it, right? Because
Tiger.
Yeah. So we can start off with this one. Let's just start off with that one.
Why do you believe you are imperfect?
So let's preface it right quick. So what we're talking about is the belief. So the belief that we are either perfect or imperfect. And so what side of that coin do you stand on? And let's see your supporting facts. Are we perfect or are we imperfect?
We are.
You know, so okay, so let's state our
Hold
positions.
on, stop right there. Stop right there.
Go ahead. Let's just state
okay?
our positions on that.
We are imperfect. We are perfectly imperfect human beings. Nothing about us is perfect.
Okay.
We are all striving to become a better version of ourselves on a daily basis. And when you're doing that, you are recognizing that there are some areas in your life in which you can do better in. So yeah, the only thing, and I'm gonna have to go back to the Kabbalion, the only thing that is perfect in this world is change.
No, that's the only thing that's constant. Not
Constant,
perfect.
but it's perfect. It's the same. It's never it's the same.
Okay.
Go ahead.
All right. That's our step.
Go ahead.
King, what's your stance on that?
That's my stance.
What's your stance on that, King?
I'm ready.
I mean, I'm not even gonna do stance. I'm just gonna do let's just build on what you just said, sis.
The number is not shown.
Well, I was thinking like if everybody can see what our different positions are, because I think we all have slightly different positions on this.
Yes.
You know, so let's state them and then we come back and support them. Is that a good idea?
Oh, okay. Well, my understanding of perfect or perfection is one's idea of something, nothing more, nothing less. It doesn't rule it to be law. It's just your opinion. That's where I stand at.
Okay. So to be clear, you saying that we are not perfect.
Oh no, I'm not dealing with imperfect. I'm dealing with the word perfect. So I'm saying.
So
yeah,
we are perfect.
Oh, facts, big facts.
We are perfect. I am perfect right now.
Okay.
Big facts.
All right.
Okay. All right. Keep
John.
Okay.
Where you at with it, Master John?
Oh, I'm both. I say they both coexist. I am perfect and I am imperfect.
That's it.
The imperfection is an option, right? But it's an illusion too. You know, we're dealing when we're talking about a lot of this stuff right here. We're dealing in the realm of illusion. So the perfect thing about it is, if you believe the imperfection, so shall it be. That's your reality, right? However, if you believe in the perfection, that's going to manifest. That's going to become made.
That was a good one.
So I'm saying both. Saying both.
Okay, got it.
But also, I think we need to clarify: are we just talking about us as entities, or are we talking about the whole system, the whole thing? Are we just talking about us? Because this is kind of egocentric here, all right? Because we're basing everything off of us. So are we declaring that it's just us, or are we talking about the whole thing?
Okay, well let me give you my idea of the whole thing, all encompassing. Everything and all is perfect.
Okay.
That's where I stand on it. And I'm always willing to support what I say. So
yeah. Now that part.
All right.
We can start there. That's good. We got to put a pin in that.
Okay.
Got to put a pin in that. The all is perfect. Everything. But we say we are not perfect. We say that we are not perfect. So there's a lot of assumptions there, isn't there? You know, what is we that we're talking about? Who are we talking about? What are we talking about? Are we talking about humans? And then it's like, all right, do we understand what that is? When you say we, are you talking about the soul? Are you talking about your brain, your mind? Are you talking about the whole thing or just a part of it?
Well, you asking me personally?
I'm asking her. I'm asking everybody. I'm asking the audience.
Okay.
If we're talking about, if we say out loud, well, nobody's perfect. Nobody is perfect. Nobody is perfect here. Okay, what what do you mean? Like no,
Master Skywalker. I got one question. So normally when you play with the word, I ain't gonna say play with the word. When you build off the word perfect or imperfect, you have to have a base, correct?
Okay.
Okay. So if you're talking about individual, one person or even one cell, no one person, no two people are the same, correct? Even when it comes to identical twins, correct?
Okay.
So if it's only one you and there's no one else, you have no base to build off of. So it's like the only person that you're reflecting on is self. That will make you perfect. You are the perfect version of you. There is no other version of you on this earth. Period.
Well, it's
That's,
a lot of ways we can also, it's a lot of ways we can look at this from a standpoint of function. You know, we function, purpose. When we look at it from this perspective, what's our purpose? How are we functioning within that purpose to realize that purpose? You know, then look at our source. What's our true divine origins, our true origins? And then who are we? You know, who are we? You know, we have to understand the parts of us that we are attributing perfection or imperfection to, like John was just alluding to. And then when it comes to the situations, then where's perfection in that? How do we perfection is an effect when it comes to anything outside. So there's a bunch of perfect components that may not perfectly get a perfect outcome, but the components themselves are perfect. You see what I'm saying? I mean, I have technical difficulties all the time when I go and troubleshoot my equipment. Everything is working just fine individually. So there it's all perfect. The transistors and all that stuff is perfect. But then somehow the effect that I'm getting is not. You see what I'm saying? So that's the environmental effect. So let's talk about it in relationship, you know, relationship wise. So that's my opening argument. That's my opening argument.
I'm not touching that. I'm not touching that. John, put the number on the ticker bag. I'm not touching that.
What?
Yeah,
all right.
I'm sorry.
You know, I'm really interested in hearing God level, you know, because I can see and I feel you. I feel you, my sister.
I'm not perfect. It's a lot of things about me that are flawed. I'm sorry.
Okay.
What is it? Well, let's touch on that real quick. What does that mean?
Yes.
What does flaw mean to us? What are we trying to say?
If you have a blank sheet of paper and it's all white, and that this is you being born, when you get that first dark mark, as you're moving through life, you're collecting those scars. You're collecting them. So yeah, there's not a single person walking this earth that is perfect.
So is perfection just merely is perfection? Because I want us to kind of define perfection here, because it sounds more like a judgment than a reality or a falsehood. So when you say I'm not perfect, it sounds more like a judgment. It doesn't sound like a reality yet. It doesn't sound like a lie or untruth. It sounds like a judgment. It sounds like a judgment. That's what it sounds like. Okay, that's all I'm saying.
Good perspective. Good perspective.
Okay. So it sounds like I'm judging myself. Oh, I could get to work at 8:00 every morning, but I can get there at 10. So I'm not perfect. I get what you're saying. I'm judging myself. I'm just basically saying that there is not a single perfect person in this world.
What does that look like? Now let's get to what is that? What perfection? What does that look like in your eyes?
We've never seen it.
Wait. Now you gotta have some kind of reference to it.
Now
What does perfection look like?
Yes. Okay. Now, okay. Let me help you out. Describe these. You gave a scenario of a white piece of paper and the marks. What are the marks? What are those marks?
Trauma.
Okay.
Trauma, heartbreak, hurt, negative experience. Those. That's why I see we're not perfect, and they accumulate, and sometimes that whole page can go dark.
Let me ask you a question.
So, go ahead.
Let me ask you a question. Let me ask you a question. Hold on.
We're just exploring, by the way, God level. We exploring, okay?
We're just exploring. Just a perspective. I'm finna give it to you, God level. Just give you perspective.
Give it to me.
That same piece of paper you just said you just put these marks on, correct? The same piece of paper, right? That you just put marks on, correct? Let me ask you something. If you close your eyes, can you see that same piece of paper with the marks? I'm just asking, can you still see those marks?
If I close my eyes, can I see that plain sheet of paper with those marks?
I mean, because if you understand what John said earlier, it's all.
I was on the phone. I didn't. Oh, yes, I did. Wait a minute. It's a state of mind. If you believe that you are perfect, then you are. If you believe that you are imperfect, then you are. You know, whatever you believe becomes your reality.
Well, I'm saying this from the space of here, or the premise of God is all. Now, we have already decided, agreed upon, conferred that God is perfect. Okay, so we're saying God is all of it, right? If that is our premise, God is all of it, observing itself, expressing itself, macro, micro levels. This is God, the all of it. Okay. Okay. So, what part of God? What part of God in all of this godness? What part of God is going back saying, "Nah, we ain't."
Scratch that. I'll go back to the drawing board. Start
all of it. Well, okay. Now, because but see,
I am not above.
Hold up,
learning something new. Go ahead.
You coming to the conclusion a little bit too quickly. I wanted to have some fun with this.
I thought we were going.
I want to have some fun with this.
No, that was a good point. Yeah. Keep going. That was a good point.
That's the ultimate. What John just said is the ultimate realization. But again, I want to have some fun building up to it. Yeah. I want to have some fun building up to it. So let's take our time, because I like to. I want to pick apart God level's stance. You know, and it's really, and it's not to pick. It's not to pick on her, but it's just to help. It's just to help her, because I would like to straighten it out, because at the end of this, if she realizes her perfection, if she realizes that, then her walk will be a bit different. Because if you identify with imperfection, as John was saying, then that exactly is what you will walk like an imperfect. But let me tell you, even in that instance, it is impossible for you to be imperfect. It is impossible for you to be imperfect. Even if you think you are, just because you think you are, you can think you're a bird, but you're not going to be no more a bird. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's how imperfection is on you. You can think you're imperfect, but it doesn't make you. The fact that you can, the moment that you change your mind and say, I am perfect, and then you become perfect, that's telling you what your function is, right? What is your function? If you can change from one thing to another at in an instant. Only something that's perfect can do that. Only something that's perfect can do that. So I'm just saying, think about your function. Think about the power endowed within you that gives you that ability. That's a perfect power.
It is. And I
That's
just
a perfect
did it.
Power.
And I literally just did it. Change your function, your position. I'm on a podcast. I had to put you on mute to take a phone call from my unit, and I went right into nurse mode, and then came right back. Yeah. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But let's unpack all.
Yeah, let's go there. I've been judging myself, and while judging myself, I've been telling myself that I am imperfect, and in order for me to be perfect, it is certain things that I must do or change to become a perfect version of myself, even though I believe that nothing is perfect.
Okay. Now,
does that make
sense? I think it makes sense, but I think, and this is where we trip over and get twisted up in terms. Sometimes we just don't have the term because we haven't brought the correct terms into the conversation.
Okay.
And I think what you're talking about is optimizing yourself, not perfecting yourself. You're talking about optimization, beloved.
Okay.
That's what you're talking about. Just optimization. That's it.
It's quality. That's quality. Quality of life. Quality of experience.
Okay. Hey, John, today's date is what?
16.
That's knowledge, equality, all being born of God.
I just learned something. Thank you.
Yeah. So Saba Diamond has identified a quality here in terms of our existence that we're aiming for, that we're seeking, striving, aspiring for, reaching for, vibrating towards, or not, but yeah, optimizing. But then you have another option. Some of us are trying to optimize and others are not, and you can choose in this cosmic experience, you can choose which direction you want to go. Up, down, left, right, in, out, out.
I'm always optimistic.
Out is a direction, that is a dimension.
Yeah, I'm always striving to do more. I am.
But you know what stops you in your tracks from prohibiting your ultimate optimization is your mindset. And like I say, so basically believing that you're imperfect, that just makes you stuck. It doesn't make you imperfect. It just makes you stuck. You're no longer moving towards optimization. Even at the tip of Maslow's Abraham Maslow's pyramids, there's self-actualization at the top, right? So you don't self-actualize if you actually condone and are convinced of the idea that you are imperfect. Now again, I never tell you something I can't prove. Okay. So let's talk about the facts. What are the facts that make you perfect? What are the facts that make you imperfect if that's your stance? So these are the things, like I say, all we got to do, the hardest thing is to go all the way back to our origins to know who we truly are. And I'm talking about absent of our incarnated form, absent of the body. When we take this body away, guess what? We still exist. A lot of people have a hard time understanding that. So if we still exist, then what is it that we are a part of originally? What is it that we are part of? And see, when we take away the body, that is the true you. That is the true you, not the vessel. The body is the vessel.
It's the avatar.
It is you that dwells within. So then what is that? What is that? You an expression of that source. That's that source expressing as you. Is that source not perfect?
Oh,
I'm just saying.
Come on, man. Come on. Source expressing through you. Come on.
No, not through you, as you. That source is expressing as you. All right. So this is all I'm saying. That if I don't think nobody on here would argue that source is perfect. It's perfection. It is what we call perfection. So whatever it chooses to do, it is still being perfect. It's still being perfect. This is, life is nothing more than a gym, than like a workout facility for that divine source. That's it. But we'll get into the science of that. We got time.
Oh my God.
I would like to say something to that comment right there. If we have all made mistakes in life, are we still considered perfect? I had always said no, but this has been my thought process. So it's
basically a thought process.
We inherited this, right? So what are we really dealing with in this life? We use mistakes as a word to describe that we have missed our intention or missed our mark. We missed our goal. So I made a mistake, right? And so we judge that, the mere fact of not hitting the objective or accomplishing your will. The mere fact of not doing that, we have to give that a name. We have to give that a judgment, right? Not necessarily, but by proxy, we've been conditioned to do that. So, okay, I was supposed to go this way. I went this way instead. Accident, whatever, right? We judge that happening. By giving a judgment to what happened, it skews our perception of what is truly happening. You just got some feedback. You don't have to judge it as perfect or imperfect, mistake or not. You don't have to do that. You just have to ask yourself, did I hit my goal? Did I fulfill what I sought out to fulfill? And if not, you take accountability of all the variables and then you try again. And then when you hit it, but someone would say, well, because you didn't hit it the first time, you're imperfect. Compared to what? Well, if you would have hit it the first time, it would have been perfect. If you did it the first time, though, well, why the first time? Why not the 4th, the 5th, the 17th, the 1000th, and 22nd? Why not that time? And if there's a lapse in between, and I'm still learning, I'm discovering things. Sometimes you can make a mistake and discover something that you didn't know would be there if you didn't make that mistake.
True that.
So when we're saying mistakes, let's keep in mind that we say mistake with the judgment attached to it. But it's a word, okay? It's a word that's supposed to describe something, a particular phenomenon, to help us know, all right, this is a mistake. Distinguish. This is a mistake. This is a correction. We just call it this for the sake of us knowing how to navigate. So I just wanted to address that. We should think in terms of feedback, but mistakes, if you remove that judgment, you'll start to realize, okay, I don't need to judge this per se. I just need to realign if I went this way instead of this way. Like, it's just feedback. Look at it as feedback.
Thank you. And let me give you this perspective too. That was very profound.
That was
John.
Beautiful. Go ahead.
Here's another perspective on mistakes. Some things that we call mistakes, because that means to mistake something, right? Mistake. But guess what? What we generally call mistakes is not us mistaking something. It was a choice that we made, and it was intentional. So it was not a mistake. It wasn't. It was a bad call. Okay, it was a bad call. But here's the perfection. Here's the perfection in us. We have the ability to change our minds. We have the ability to redeem ourselves. That's the function of perfection. Okay, when you don't get stuck, it's only when you get stuck that you're not allowing perfection to assert itself. It's always trying to assert itself because it is default. perfection is default. Okay, in our trying to understand ourselves and things like that, we skew it, but it's always trying to assert itself through mistakes or bad calls or things that we feel like, oh, you know what, that wasn't a good thing. That's not serving me anymore. So let me go ahead and change and do this to create. So what we're talking about is cause and effect. That's the overall principle when we really unfold all of this. This is cause and effect, you know. And so it ultimately, this is how we all going to operate. We're going to think about the effect that we want before we implement the cause. It's not a lot of us that actually operate in that way. So this is why we think we're imperfect, because we're not thinking about the effect that we want and aligning ourselves with our actions to get that effect. That's all that is. But we are building up to that automatic operation. We're going to function like that automatically. Yeah. That's what this all builds up to. And that's part of the purpose why we are here, is to operate in that, because all we're doing is now taking higher forces and overcoming the lower forces with them. That's what it is, and we're learning this. But that's why we're here in physical reality. But at the same time, with every choice we make, every decision we make, we're also dealing with the DNA codes. It's already there. The framework says that you're perfect. I'm just waiting on you to know it. Look at the DNA. It's all there. The coding it's there. Your perfection is already written in your DNA. It's waiting for you to realize you are and start acting as such. It's already there. And again, I can prove it. Go look up non-coding DNA. Go look up. I think they previously called the junk DNA.
9D. It's called 9 DNA series. Am I saying it correctly? Are you familiar?
Not that one, but I'm saying like just called the non-coding DNA, which is the other 99%. We only function from 1% of our DNA codes. Function the other 99% is that bigger form of who we are, to bring all of it's the coding waiting for us to access it by bringing in our higher abilities, our higher, more divine divinity. We are 99% spiritual beings and 1% physical. But right now we're acting like we're 100% physical. That's the problem. Okay, that's the problem. But this is just us in our infancy. Okay, it's us in our infancy. But we're growing into that, and that growth is part of our perfection.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
So we're optimizing along the way.
That sounds like Dr. Manhattan, don't it?
It sure does. It sure does. Dr. Manhattan. That and he's speaking in reference to the movie The Watchmen. For all of you.
I have learned something this evening. Something I already know.
I love it.
Something I already knew.
Ashe.
I learned something I already knew. Why did I'm trying to figure out what made me judge myself in that manner. Like John said, what you believe becomes your reality. And I know that. And how can I not be perfect? Being part of the source. Because once this body is gone.
Well, even just thinking.
It's in your name. God level. Come on. It's in your name.
I'm growing into it. Thank you.
Ooh, that's what's up, Keisha. But I wanted to touch on another word that comes associated with imperfection, and that's weakness. Right? Weakness, weak energy, weak forces, weak mind.
Ooh.
So by virtue of saying because something is weak, therefore it is flawed, therefore it is imperfect. Again, it's another value. There is a value that is assigned in weakness, right? To say that something is weak is also to say that it is undesirable, or, that's like the implication, right? Mm-hmm. But weakness is just what it is. It is just what it is. What happens is we assign a judgment of value to weakness. Sometimes it's so widespread, we don't realize how there are times where weakness is desirable, right? For example, if you were trying to, I don't know, crash into something, beat a door down, do you want to be beating down a strong door or a weak door? You would want a weak door. If you are a person that's about to fight another human being, do you want them to be strong or do you want them to be weak? Depending on the individual, some will say, oh, I want him to be strong because I want a challenge. And some will be like, man, look, I don't even know if I got it in me to win, but I hope they're weak. So weakness has this assignment based off of what we're trying to accomplish at that moment. So in one pocket, we judge weakness as a bad thing, and therefore it's a thing that's undesirable. It's a thing that cannot be part of the perfection. It must be over here. But then in another experience, now you want weakness to come through. I need to be weak in this area. I wish this was weak. And it's not something we vocalize consciously. It's not something, it's just deeply embedded in our psyche. Just like with strength. So here we go. We say perfection is strong. Perfection is all powerful. It is everything that is not weakness. More judgments, more evaluations. So when we're talking,
go ahead.
So again, when we're referring to weakness, we use this quality. It's a phenomenal experience. Okay, we use this quality for whatever our intention is in that moment, because the next moment it may not be the same. So we'll say, hey, such and such has a flaw, therefore it's a weakness, and that which is God cannot be weak.
Period.
Okay.
Period.
Okay. If that which is God cannot be weak and it is strong, well, how do you know what strong is in the absence of weakness?
Don't.
So
John, you speaking of this this polarized reality that we have. Okay, go ahead. I know she got somebody on the phone right there.
This is things that people don't want to talk about. This is God Level talking. Who am I speaking with? Hello. Hello. All right. I guess I was on hold too long. I'll let her call back. Go ahead.
All right. So he's speaking of this how life is polarized. Now, one thing that we have to understand. Now one thing I love about my brother King, he's the mathematician.
He's quiet.
Which is good because that goes right along with my personality. I'm the scientist, and then we have the philosopher himself.
Scientist and mathematician.
And the philosopher, Master John Skywalker.
Master Skywalker. Yeah.
And one who brings us all that we need to think about. Everything. The disciplinarian, intellectual disciplinarian, God love. So let's understand something. That's why this is a perfect team, because we all have our different ways of bringing a different perspective, right? Now, when it comes to electromagnetism, now that is something that happens, that operates on the macrocosmic and the microcosmic level, as well as the mesocosmic level. All right. The mesocosmic level is pretty much where we are from our perspective, because we have there's a organism world that's smaller than us, but there's also a macrocosmic world that is bigger. We're right there in the middle. And so we have to think life works in this sine wave. All right. So there's at the peak, at the top, this is our positive, and at the very bottom, that's our negative. Negative is not a bad thing. It's part of the balance. It's part of the balance. All right. So when we talk about cycles, in cycles, everything has to go positive, then negative, then positive, then negative, then positive, then negative. Right. So as he was saying, without the weak, how can you truly identify the strong? Without the dark, what appreciation for the light would you have? How much comfort can you find in warmth if you have never experienced the cold? You see? So these are the polarities. This is how life is polarized. And guess what? That's what makes it a playground for divine consciousness. Because we have to find some way to navigate it and stay perfect, even in the midst of all that. That's what we are here to secure, that perfection. We're here to allow it to assert itself no matter which way the pendulum is swinging. That's what we call the spiritual path. That's the spiritual path, because we know we can. This is just training ground. You are perfection that is coming through all of that. Now your job is to keep it perfect. Keep it perfect. I love what Keisha Oldham, I tapped into my spiritual self a few years ago. So now everything I manifest, it comes to the forefront. That's our perfected selves. And I 100% believe her, because I know that's our function. 100% believer. Understand? So anyway, I just want to assert it that way, but understand that from that electromagnetic perspective, that's what's happening. That's what's happening. All right. So what say you, King?
You gave two great examples. I was just going to piggyback off of what I said earlier when she was talking about the paper over time. You put marks on it. I'm like, well, if you close your eyes, can you still see those marks? What do those marks represent to a blind person? You got people that can see with no vision. You know what I'm saying? So you got to understand your reality is what you created to be, which more importantly, identify. Well, I'm going to say identify. It classify you as representation of God. You know, so you're created in the beginning and in the end.
And in between.
Oh, definitely in between. Yeah.
Okay.
Definitely in between.
Okay. When we talked about, look, we never defined perfect and what is perfect to you. Okay. We've never really defined it.
We gonna go textbook with it. Textbook, because the textbook gonna confuse you.
All right. So let's
I'm just saying, just because it's in the Webster dictionary, don't make it so.
True.
But so this is why I go ahead and look up etymologies. You know, let's go with the origin as it was originally formulated in its intent. Because the dictionary, the Merriam-Webster dictionary, doesn't always align up with its original intent. So let's look at that. Y'all know this is scholar work right here. We can do that. So let's look up let's see the etymology. Okay, perfect. Let's go with the root word perfect. All right. So now, okay, so here it is. So it's Middle English from Old French, perfect, P-E-R-F-E-T, from Latin perfectus, which means completed. Okay, from the verb perficere, from per, which means through, completely, Okay, and wait a minute. So it comes, it comes from the root word is perficere. I'm sorry, perficere, which breaks down into per means completely, and facere means do. Okay. So as a noun, perfect is a grammatical term referring to a tense of verbs describing an action that has been completed. All right. So now, because of that, now let's look at the dictionary. So here is the Webster dictionary. It says being entirely without fault or defect, flawless, and we're gonna deal with that word flaw in a second to see if it really fits here. Flawless, a perfect diamond, satisfying all requirements, accurate, corresponding to an ideal standard or abstract concept, a perfect gentleman. So, for example, faithfully reproducing the original, specifically, letter, perfect, and so forth. Right. All right. So they throwing a bunch of things out, and this is where people end up really getting it mixed up, because they actually associate flaw and perfection to me to be inversely proportionate. The more flawed you are, the less perfect you are. Now let's just discover. Let's talk about for a second if that's true. Let's talk about for a second if that's true. Because when it comes to perfection, what we're really looking at is function. Let's look at it from that standpoint. Function. All right. So through life, as God Level was saying earlier, she had this scenario of this white piece of paper that eventually get marks all over it as time go on. Those marks represents flaws. And so we can liken that to a car, a pristine car that just come off the factory floor, that when you drive it down the street, a rock from the street comes up and hit his door, and it makes a mark, puts a flaw in the paint. Then you have to tell me, is that car no longer perfect just because it has a scuff on the door? Can that car still perform its duties of getting its passenger and driver from point A to point B? Can it still do that? And as long as it can, it is still perfect despite the flaw. You see, despite the flaw. So those things they really don't determine one or the other. So just because we go through, in fact, when it comes to mankind, being that we are sentient beings, then being that we are divine expression, every flaw we get actually adds to our perfection.
Did you say value?
It actually adds.
What you said?
Say it again.
Did you just say value? That sounds like you say added value.
Added value, exactly. It's added value. You have to. It's almost like a gem, right? A stone that done tumbled down the hill or just tumbled. You get this perfect, pristine polish, right? A diamond that has a lump of coal that has been under pressure so much to where it becomes a diamond.
Right.
You know, so this is more indicative of what happens to the soul of mankind when we encounter what we tend to call flaws or encounter challenge. This is what happens. It actually makes us more crisp and clean, you know, and able to express, because we learn from it, do we not? Is not wisdom and knowledge gained from our experiences? So each incident where we say we're making mistakes or whatever, when we correct them, when we redeem ourselves from them, there is knowledge and wisdom that is inviting us to the next level of experience. Oof. And we can so that's the prerequisite as we move towards the full expression of our perfect selves, which is optimization. So as long as we're moving through, that's what we're supposed to be doing. That's why I say we're perfect, because we're doing just what we're supposed to be doing, despite all that life drops on us. Go ahead, King.
No, I was just gonna say, I mean, if you just look at the circle of life, 1, 2, and 3, which would be man, woman, and child, that's knowledge, wisdom, understanding. That's a cipher that can never be broken. How you do it, it's gonna always repeat. It's gonna always repeat. That is perfection. It's in its perfect form. This is a touchy but beautiful subject, because like you said, sometimes we don't understand the true etymology of a word. We don't actually put in the work. We only go off of hearsay or what we've been told, not necessarily what we researched, and that make a huge difference in a lot of things that we go through in life. Is what you well, can I say that? Yeah, I can say that. Sometimes you have to unlearn what you've learned in order to start learning.
Absolutely.
That's very important. I mean, like, even with playing with the word flaw, how many people want to go to an experienced mechanic versus someone that is fresh out of school? I'm just saying, that experienced mechanic, he'd probably be like, oh no, all I gotta do is this, voila, magic is done. You understand? Versus the person out of school, he know the book side of things. Well, the book said, if you do this, and this,
right,
you get this outcome. Yeah, it's true. But the book also says it's going to take you 2.5 hours to complete this job, versus this mechanic over here. It was like, no. I'm going to put this car on the lift, raise it up. I'm going to lower the subframe. I'm going to go right into the exhaust. Boom, bop, bam, O2 sensor. It probably take me 30 minutes. I'm only going to charge you $125. You out of here. So, that's knowledge, wisdom, understanding take you to culture, your way of life. So you got to go through something so you can learn something. And truly, your flaw is nothing more than something that you didn't. I don't even want to say didn't. How do you put that? Like, you have to experience stuff, period. No matter what, you have to experience something in order to become. You can't stay the same. Like you said, change is constant. You're not going to stay the same. If that was the case, we all still be infants. We all still be babies. We all still be children. And that's impossible. We keep moving forward.
Wow. Exactly. What you feeling, God level?
I need to go to my job. I'm trying to go back to my original thought. I wanted to talk about the word perfection, and what does it actually mean? Then I had to take a call. I was trying to listen simultaneously, and I just couldn't. I just had to really just focus in on what she was saying. But when I think of the word perfection, me being a nurse, and I say that no one is perfect, it is because of what I have seen as far as like innocent children. Oh God, innocent children who are born with medical disabilities. So when you say we're perfect, it's like, no.
Okay, so I want to
cancer.
I want to touch on that, right?
Yeah.
So you have a feeling about all this stuff. This is what you're implicating, right? This is what you're saying. When you look at this stuff, when you look at these experiences, you have a feeling, a judgment about these things.
Right.
And therefore, it comes back to a word. You assign a word to mean these things, to encapsulate or to summarize your perception of all of these things.
Facts.
Your perception, right? And now, you are a human being that's communicating with the world, and you influence other people's opinions and thoughts and feelings. So if you get enough people to agree with you, they're having feelings and they're seeing it and they're like, hey, yeah, I feel this way, right? All right. So we got feelings and thoughts about, this happening to children and that happening to men and that happening to straight people and this, right? Feelings, judgments, opinions. It's content, right? It's content. But does the reality still exist as it is, despite our feelings and our judgments and our evaluations of it all? It is what it is. That's what we say, right?
Right.
This person died. That person got shot. This tree fell down. This car blew up. These are just things happening as they're supposed to happen, because they couldn't happen any other way except by the will of the supreme creator, right? It's a system of creation. And yet us, as part of the creation, we recognize our ability to evaluate and cast judgments. And then we subject, or attempt to anyways, we attempt to subject the reality to that opinion, that perception. The world's not perfect according to us. According to us.
Yeah.
And it's part of the system. Yeah. It's part of the creation, the ability to do that, right? And it has an effect. But still, we're dealing with this word flaw. And it's only specific to humans. Oh no, John, dogs recognize flaws too. Do they?
Right.
You a dog? You a dog? So huh? Because you a dog. Oh, okay. So once again, we're trying to explain it all, right? We're trying to explain it all. But when we're dealing with this word flaw, what does it mean to humans? It's to humans, not creation itself. It's just to us. So we're using this word to capture the value of an experience. This is flawed. This priest raping this child is a flawed experience.
But is it though? So that's the thing. You got to look at it from the grand. When we talk about a grand viewpoint, when you look at the unfoldment of all of creation, all the experiences, when you think of why we are here to experience ourselves through our creation, all of this, no aspect of it is imperfect. All of it is actually doing exactly what it's supposed to do. Now, you have to think of it too. This is how we kind of judge it like this. Just because if our intention is to make fresh bread, we should not judge the dough that we start out with to whether or not it is perfect bread or not. It's still dough. It hasn't gone through its process. And no part of its process is it imperfect. No part of it. The kneading, yes, it's not bread yet, but it still is not imperfect. You see, it has to go through a process. And to be honest with you, we're in our most perfect form before we even incarnate. And all we're trying to do is bring that perfection into the world. So you're already perfect. You're just trying to evolve creation to reflect your perfection. That's what you're trying to do.
Okay, I'll take that.
To reflect. Come on, man. To reflect it.
That's
Peace, Dre. I want to say hello to Miss Nicole, Miss Ivy Tanner, Miss Keisha. We appreciate all of you all very, very much. And still feel free to call in. The number is scrolling at the bottom of the screen.
Yes. Go ahead. What you feeling? I see your gears turning up there, God level.
Yeah, they really are, because of what you just said. That's hurtful. To even think about, a child being taken advantage of. That should not be planned or allowed, you're destroying something precious. And now that child is going to grow up and think that he or she is imperfect because of their experience. It should not be allowed. However, it does happen.
Yes, a lot, in fact.
It happens a lot.
So we're still talking about nature, though, right? So let's just talk.
Yeah, because that's
again. We think of nature as like just this beautiful thing, right? Again, these are our perceptions.
Yeah.
We say this is nature, this is not nature. Again, that's ego just dividing things up again, right? Always got to
everything is all nature.
That is
natural. But I want you to imagine something
not
here, though.
Natural.
All right. So there's an organism out there that hunts down another organism and devours it.
For survival.
For survival, to sustain itself, consuming another organism. This is the experience now. This is all throughout the whole planet, okay? This is life. So we're talking about this child being molested, this child being shot, this woman being killed, and right? But there's even more savagery out there. Death. Yeah. Dang it, death.
Oh, death is released. Once death happens, you out the game over. But it's like, I mean, you get to stop dealing with disease, debt, anything that life brings you. So death is just an easy way out. You know, that's a stop for the people. What I'm saying is, once it's done, it's done. But the fight to keep life going, you know, and to learn how to live despite all this other stuff that's going on, to still know how to come through. Understand the story of the phoenix. Understand the story of the lotus flower. Why was that lotus flower so important in ancient Egypt?
I can't find it, man.
You see what I'm saying? Like, look at the muck that it had to come out of. It grows out of this very nasty cesspool of water, this liquid, nasty stuff. But it itself is the beautiful, most fragrant flower. And this oil was extremely expensive. But look what it had to come through, you know, to do that. The phoenix itself, which is actually the Greco-Roman version of the Bennu bird, which is about going through the ashes and coming out as a phoenix. You see? So when we talk about death and resurrection, we ain't talking about a physical death. We're talking about a dying to concepts and ideas, a dying to old paradigms, and be reborn as something new, as a new idea.
Thank you.
That itself is alchemy. That's an alchemical process that sends you right through transmutation.
Yeah.
You see?
Take a new shape. Change.
That's it. That's
change.
It. So, but what I'm saying is when you express, when you allow that perfection to assert itself, which is you, that's all you're trying to do is be the best you can be in life, right? Sure. You are perfection trying to assert itself. You're trying to get the environment to answer to your perfection. And sometimes that's uncomfortable because the world around you is just like coming through the canal, that birth canal is pushing against you. It's polarizing you, but it does that to make you stronger. Just like lifting 225 pounds off your chest. You do that enough times, then it becomes not a problem. That 225 pounds is not against you, but it's there to help you get stronger. You see, it's there for your perfection, allowing the body to do what it does.
So everything that we go through is there to help push us into a better version of ourselves.
And to your optimized version of yourself.
Okay.
If you decide to, though, let's not forget that part. It's still,
yeah. Okay.
It is a choice.
That's a decision. You got to decide to do that.
It is a choice. So everything that we go through, if we choose to decide to overcome.
I want to just reiterate, we have judgments and evaluations of these experiences, okay? Because there's the question of, how do you know? How do you know that you made it or not? How do you know?
You don't.
How do you know what?
You don't know if you made it or not. You just keep going.
Made what though?
That's true.
What do you mean made what?
That's true.
It's ongoing. All I know is that us expressing in this third density form, this is not it. Okay. This is not it. Okay. And we know that because it's the same thing as being in kindergarten when it comes to our divine essence. There's so much more to unlock and everything. We're infants on this level of reality. So all I know is that
elevation.
Elevation. I'm talking about transcendence. You've got to transcend this level of consciousness.
Yeah.
So listen, it wouldn't be if you were not perfect, you wouldn't have lived as long as you lived. In fact, you wouldn't even been born. It takes you being perfect to even incarnate. Period.
Ooh. That's deep. Thank you. I'll take that. Oh my God. Wow. You made I thought about the picture of creation, the egg, the sperm and the egg, and how millions, and it's just that one.
Why I can't find this dang on.
That's right.
But anyway,
I post this video so bad.
What do you tell someone who's been through so much? You still tell you that they're still perfect, no matter what they've been through. It is
meditate with it.
It's something that has,
you are not what you go through. You're not your experiences.
I was getting ready to say,
yeah.
Okay.
In fact, the worst happens to those who have the most profound calling on them. You have to think of it. Listen to me. When you think of the Navy SEALs, some of the most elite trained soldiers on the planet, do they not go through some of the hardest training as well?
Yes, they do.
They break their mind.
So
they break their body.
You think you exempt from that just by being no. The harder it is, the better you're gonna come out on the other side. The more perfected you come out, the more optimized you come out on the other side. And that just means you're ready for it. You're vibrating at a level to where saying, oh yeah, she ready. Let's go ahead and drop this on her right quick to pull her on through.
And then not only that, you can also help someone who's going through or went through what you went through. You can pull them up with you.
That sounds like you being of service to me.
Yeah.
That's right.
It ain't always sharing your money. Sometimes you have to share your life. Help people understand that, hey, I've been there, done that. I'm still here and I'm still growing. Yeah. I'm still learning. I'm still evolving.
I'm still loving. I'm still caring.
Developing.
I didn't allow for it to destroy me.
Let me ask you something. When the first time you experienced pain, did you become weaker or stronger?
It's a good question because it could go either way.
Yeah, it really can. And you making me go all the way. The first time I remember that.
Well, for me, it didn't stop me.
It
I made a decision, a choice, and I executed the same thing over except I learned.
I would say it all depends on what it is that's hurting you.
No matter what it is,
no.
Still an experience.
It's still an experience.
It's still an experience.
Are you asking for that first initial?
I don't. Whatever it may be. Here, this is how you break it down. Whatever it was, right? You could do this two ways, and I'm going to play with numbers again. So if you look at number 1 as knowledge, 2 is wisdom, and 3 is understanding. There's no way to get to understanding the right way if you do the equation wrong. So you can get an understanding from something and not have any knowledge of it. So like putting your hand over a flame and you burn yourself, you didn't have no prior knowledge to it being a flame. It had heat, it burned you at a certain temp. You didn't know any of this.
Yeah.
So this can be applied to any type of pain you may have had. We say traumas, we say fear, but based off of all of those, at some point you still got to go back to the equation, which is 1, 2, and 3: knowledge, wisdom, understanding, culture. Well, 4 will be culture, because after that you decide how do you live with this moving forward. You live in fear. You live in constant remembrance of the event that happened, that moment. So you stay scared, you're terrified, anxiety, become an introvert. Think about that. Or do you take all of that and be like, hold on, let me stand back for a minute so I can reevaluate the situation. What decision did I make that, my choices or options that I executed brought me to the point of pain? Now I can apply this in my everyday living to any situation. So again, like Brother Ahmed said, you making it clear again. You create your reality. You can choose to learn about it, to understand it, to build and grow from it, or you can let it control you and keep you locked in a box. Profound. You know what I'm saying? You stuck. Can't go nowhere. You can't grow.
A hell of your own making.
Woo! Watch out there now. Your choice, heaven or hell. I didn't say it.
That's it. Right?
Yeah.
But that's basically what it is. Yeah.
Yeah. All states of mind.
Yeah.
All states of mind.
That's right. Man, Miss Nicole, please, Miss Nicole. Miss Nicole.
She put Neo in the mix, baby. That was tough.
The Matrix is so beautiful, man. It's so beautiful. And Neo was a true example of that. He was told numerous of times, you're the one. You have to acknowledge you being the one. Until he acknowledged no, it's not real.
Yeah, but then the one who he thought would actually validate that, she didn't. The oracle.
That's what he wanted.
Yeah.
That's what he wanted. He made that be the reality. She gonna tell me I ain't it. Okay, let me tell you ain't it.
But did it change? Did it change the truth?
No.
It did not.
It didn't change the truth at all.
It didn't change the truth.
You know why? Because he had to go through. He had to endure something. It had to have some things to help change him. Life experiences. That was his growth and development. Because you don't know when you're going to arrive. When you arrive, you arrived. You didn't. Oh, it was 10:15. No, you don't know that.
You don't.
Everybody that's watching this, listening to this, and that's on this panel has had a moment where you go, aha.
Yeah.
That click, that light go off. You be like, man.
Right.
This whole time it was right in my face. Yeah, it was. It was. But see, he was holding on to the old information. See, the brain is all about change. All day long. You express that the most as a child. When you live in your creative being as a child, you stay on a creative surface. Like all you're trying to do is trying to experience everything. Oh, this looks fun. Oh, let me try this. Let me do this. Oh man, I can't keep still. Let me go over here. That's all you experience until you're told that, hey, you ain't supposed to do that. You got to stop that. Don't do this. Sit up straight. Don't say that. Keep your hands to yourself. Don't touch this. Don't do that. Your brain be like, hold on, man, there's a lot of limitations. I don't understand none of this information.
Oof.
Right.
And some of us choose exile, just like in the Matrix. What they say, some programs choose exile. Some of us just want to keep playing Monopoly over and over and over and over.
Right. You taking a shot at you, John.
I love you, my brother. Oh man.
You know, I picked it up too. I was like, okay. Okay. By the way, the streak was broken. Yeah.
Really?
Okay. Well,
Yeah.
Oh, that's what's up.
But we got to hear her side. That's one-sided.
Yeah.
We got to hear her side.
I'll be proud to bring her out so she could tell you, so you can see the little grin on her face. But anyways, you could play Monopoly back to back to back to back. Doing the play Monopoly.
Go ahead, finish up, King.
Oh, I mean, that's everything in a nutshell, for real, from my perspective. I mean, just dealing with that word, period. I mean, you just look at your life. The more you experience, the more profound you become, the more efficient you become, the more accurate you become. But you're already perfect, though. Like Brother Diamond had said earlier, you know, just going through that phase. I ain't even gonna say phase. The development, going from a fetus to a born state. Like, man, that's a lot going on at that particular point. There's a lot going on in that womb. Oh,
yeah. Those
there's a lot of power going on.
Are
yes. Yes.
Yep.
Fast, rapidly.
Just like, I mean, yeah.
All sparks. A lot of energy being transferred. A lot of development, growth. It's a beautiful, man. It's beautiful, man.
That's it.
That's why they say that our women need our men to protect them. I'm sorry, that's another topic. My bad.
It is, and we're gonna get to that too. Pain.
Brother Diamond says, "Ashe."
I wanna talk about pain. Pain is necessary for growth.
It's feedback. It's just information.
It's feedback.
It destroys or shatters the illusion that you may be holding as your truth at that moment.
Well, so
we're trying
to navigate this environment, right? And so just let's a little bit of anatomy here, okay? We inhabited this meat vehicle, and the brain has to assemble and interpret information from the external environment, okay? So we're talking about the water, we're talking about touch, taste. We're also talking about what is that called? Where you have your sense of direction. I can't remember that. But proprioception is what we're talking about here, right? Visuals, chemicals, it's all information. Pain that we feel physically, nerves, sending that energy to the brain to say, this is what's going on. This is what's going on. This is what's happening here in this area right here. We are experiencing damage in this area right here. Sending information saying, hey, these cells are damaged. Repair, 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 evade, evade, evade. Giving you information so that you can make a decision on what to do, while at the same time the body is, repairing itself, because it's been, it's signaled the brain signals back. All right, I got you guys. Right? This whole thing, this is our spacesuit, and it's just to help us navigate this world. So what you do with the information is on you. Oh, this is pleasurable. Like when you're smelling a flower, your brain is just receiving chemical information about this. and then you make an evaluation. This is good. This is bad. What are you going to do about good and bad? I'm going to go closer towards good. I'm going to stay away from bad.
Mm-hmm.
These are just judgments. These are simple judgments at that. So we have to be mindful of why pain and pleasure exists as it relates to this, okay? Now, we're not talking about another experience. We're talking about this one. In this is the one that matters to us right now. I have this body so that I can operate in my environment to create this particular experience. So in terms of your goals and objectives, as you're in this avatar, your goals and objectives, are you aware of your goals and objectives? Are they higher or are they coming from the world around you? You have an imagination too.
Yep. One of the most powerful things you have actually is your imagination.
That's
when it comes
how
to
do you see yourself? How do you see yourself, right? And it's not the body commands the mind. It's not the body commands the mind. It's top down. So what are we doing, right? So we're operating in this world, okay? We operating, and what we're doing is we're giving judgments and evaluations to all of it. It's a judging machine, right? It's good, bad, up, down, yellow, tastes good, judge. Okay, but that's for here. There's something.
Well, I would say is options. There's a lot of options. The judgment comes in is when you is in determining what option you should take based on your situation and based on the goal. Then you have to judge the situation to choose the correct options. But that's all. Life is just it's like that big bowl of candy on Halloween, which I'm going to be going after on October 31st. Just want y'all to see that big bowl of candy. You got all them options in there. You know, that's all life does, is offers you options. But it's consciousness, which is you, that determines what to do with those options, which ones to choose. Freedom. This is your free will, freedom of choice. You see, these are the powers that you have. Now, you stifle yourself in the inability to exercise those functions. You're becoming stifled. So she mentioned pain. A lot of times, pain stops us in our track. And we're talking about emotional as well as physical pain. Emotional pain can stop us in our track. Go ahead. I don't want that one to get away. Oh, was there somebody calling?
No, my job.
Oh, okay. Go ahead.
No, it's pretty busy. I wanted you to go ahead and continue. I was just saying, hold on, because I was going to put the mic on mute, and then I was.
Gotcha.
Yeah, it's okay.
So emotional and physical pain, they can stop us in our tracks. They can actually make us. So they'll do one thing. They can make us reevaluate our pursuit of what it was that brought about the pain.
Yeah.
Or they can make us think we're just not good enough to do that. You see? So now we start thinking we're not good enough, we're imperfect and stuff like that. But remember, all we're talking about different states of mind, different mental responses to the same situation. Let's take a little physical pain. John, you can get with me on this. And there's a condition called DOMS, DOMS.
Oh yeah. Delayed onset
muscle soreness. Exactly, right? So that's pain. But look what brings that on. Now we're talking about, first let's take this whole analogy. Everybody they work out to get muscles, right? They say, "Oh, I don't have any muscles." You look at a skinny person, "Oh, you don't have any muscles." That's not true. That's like saying somebody's imperfect, right? Say you don't have no perfection. No, it's there. You just don't see it yet. So let me go to the gym so I can develop it. Meaning I've got to put myself through a series of repetitious challenges that's going to develop the structure that is currently there. In domes, what you're actually doing is you have little micro tears in muscle fibers that are popping, right? And then because they're popping, this is soft tissue breaking. Okay. And then so what happens in the interim of things in during the repairing process, which is the growth process, the anabolic process, the healing that's going on is what's bringing the pain. Did you know it's the healing that brings the pain? It's not the traumatic experience, it's the healing part that brings the pain. The healing is the realization that something has happened. That's what healing is. It's just the realization that something has happened. Now all of a sudden you can do something with it. You can start to put use to it. You can turn it into something. But your mindset is going to determine how you address it. Some people, once they feel that soreness at the gym, they don't go back. But then you get a couple of knuckleheads like me and John. We can't wait to get back. And the fact, if we don't feel that pain, we don't feel like we've done anything. Okay, we don't feel like we've done anything. My students used to get so perturbed when I tell them. I've got to a point in my growth to where it's hard to find challenge in life, and I know I got a lot of growing to do still. So I have to go out seeking this challenge. So I put myself in situations like catching the Los Angeles public transportation. And all I can say, you got to be fortified pretty good to get on the public transportation in Los Angeles and not be challenged or triggered in some kind of way. You know, because we get all, especially going through Compton and Watts and Inglewood and all these different areas where we get a lot of the most hurt people getting on the trains, getting on the buses. You know, we have people with drug addictions and things like that just don't care. They will make you uncomfortable. Get in your space and smoke crack right next to you. You know, yes, it's happened. It's happened. So, but then how do you handle that situation? Knowing that these extremes are out there, I know that there's something deep within me, something that I have not transcended yet. And I want one of these experiences to trigger it so we can come out to the forefront so I can begin my healing process. But even the crack smoker, which I did, this was about a couple of months ago, got on the elevator. Dude sitting on the floor of the elevator, just riding up and down, smoking crack. So I tell him, I said, look, don't light that up while I'm on here, because he's flicked the cigarette lighter and finished. I said, don't light that up while I'm on here. And he's about to do it. I said, listen, I said, I'm not asking. I'm telling you, don't light it up while I'm on here, or we're gonna have some consequences here. But the whole time, I could only feel sorry for him in a way. I had so much sympathy towards him. And I was hurting for him in the inside a bit because of what he had to endure, you know, to even bring him to that point to just ride the elevator up and have nothing better to do but to smoke crack going up and down. You see, that took a piece of me. I wasn't even offended that he was about to light it up. I was concerned with the fact that he felt like he had to.
Right.
That's what concerned me. So knowing that now my pain is not even about me anymore.
Yeah.
It's about us as a collective.
Yeah.
What are we doing? And each one of you are reflections of me. And I know we are the same consciousness expressing differently. Or shall I say expressing uniquely. So whatever you do, and I'm thinking like, would I do that to myself? I wouldn't want that for you, because I wouldn't want that for me.
For yourself, yeah.
Exactly. So, you know, so for me, this brings about some emotional pain, you know, and then now how am I going to respond to it? You know, that's the main thing. I couldn't do nothing in that moment. All I can do is leave him be, but I couldn't allow him just don't do it in my presence. That's about the best as I could do in that fleeting moment. And he obliged me. He was like, you know, he put it down and waited till I got off. I was only going one floor up, you know. So that's the thing. we've got to learn how to get beyond ourselves, our individual selves, and connect with our collective selves. That's part of our development. And when you do that, you talk about a presentation of perfection. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. I'm just looking forward to the day. The more people I can connect with on that level, I'm just saying. And I know it's going to happen. See, that's what makes life worth living for me. Knowing that all of you are here, and there are more people out there that we can all connect with and have this experience together, as we should.
That's peace. That's peace.
Ashe. So yeah, I know we're at 1:30. So what we got at this point? Anybody out there have any questions? Any of you type of question?
I want to know who called earlier. I want to are they willing to call
J-Love.
back? I think it was J-Love.
I think it was J-Love that called earlier.
Miss Nicole Terry been dropping some some bars.
Ooh.
Yeah. Her and Keisha.
Yep, and Miss Keisha. Correct.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
I am sorry. I've been in and out of this whole podcast this whole time. I am so sorry.
Oh, I like that, King. What you just sent me here.
Yeah, you see that?
Killer is not always the kill. Mm-hmm.
Man, but the fact that you man, just think of the mindset. You know what I'm saying? You decided not to do what you instinctively have learned to do, but you resorted back to your nature of nurturing.
Mm-hmm.
That's big.
That is big, and that is big, and this is why we shouldn't demonize certain animals like sharks and bears. We seem to cheer. First of all, we seem to cheer when the deer or whatever gets away from them, or the little fish gets away from us. We seem to cheer for them, not really realizing that what we're cheering for is the ultimate demise of the shark if he doesn't get enough to eat. You know. So this is just kind of that circle of life, but at the same time, I've seen antelope prancing around lions that had already eaten earlier, and the lions didn't bother the antelope. They're actually fine. You know what I'm saying? They're fine. So we have to understand that this is just the circle of life. It's only through mankind do we kill when there's no reason to kill.
There's no reason to kill, exactly.
And we can, but that's a choice. That's our superpower, is the ability to choose. That's our superpower. And a lot of times we're killing each other with our superpowers. So straightening that out, we're not expressing our perfection. So perfection can be neglected, and we can opt not to express that perfection. Doesn't make us imperfect. Just like those muscles are always there, we just have to develop them. We develop our perfection by the choices we make, by the choices we learn to make. Instead of that choice that we made last time, in this situation, we're going to make a different choice this time. That itself, the fact that we can change the choice, that's part of your perfection. That's part of it. That's a function you carry. And no, it doesn't matter how many limbs you got. Doesn't matter if you have a handicap or anything like that. You can always make a choice. You can always make a choice. Oh, sorry.
I am so sorry.
Hey, that's just part of where you are right now. That's part of your promo.
My unit is almost at full capacity right now.
Mm-hmm.
I have the critical care unit at work. So I have more of the sicker patients throughout than the rest of the building, and
so you're not in ER. You're not working ER.
No ER. We're a step down from the hospital. We are rehab to home. I take a lot of trach vent patients. Okay. I think that was backstage. Okay, that's fine. Okay. All right. Okay, that's fine. But yeah, it's just a lot going on. It's just a lot going on. So yeah. Thank you for doing it without me. Even though I was sitting right here. Okay, where are we at? Because I didn't hear the last 5-10 minutes. Well,
so much was said. I'm kidding.
Okay, well, let me try to summarize up what I have learned today. We are perfect. The body is just a meat vehicle. Once we drop this meat vehicle, as John will put it, we are a part of the source. And if you believe that the source is perfect, then you yourself are perfect. If you believe that you are imperfect, then that will become your experience. When it comes to the laws of this world, it's in the Kabbalion, and he touched on it. And even when I read it, I felt some kind of way. All is mine.
The
all is mine, but it was something else. And when I read it, I just, and that's probably
yes. You said you talking about all is within all, and all is within the all.
Yeah, that too.
Cipher.
I got the Kabbalion right here. You know, I got like 3 different versions of the Kabbalion sitting right
and I'm already gonna remember it when we're done. Well, moving on. We talked about death. We talked about pain. Let's go back to pain. Pain for me will be the meaning of pain. Experiencing pain is to help shatter any illusions that you may have, or any lies that you may have told yourself concerning particular situations. It's there to open your eyes to see the bigger picture. Death is freedom. You're free from this world. I'm not afraid of dying.
That's right. You can't live with fear of death.
Because it's going to happen regardless of whether you want it to or not. It's going to happen. I think a lot of people are afraid of dying because they don't know where they're going to go after they leave here. That is the fear. That's why people are so afraid. I'm not.
I think mostly we're afraid of how we die.
I could see that. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's one of the fears too. Yes.
Yeah, there's several, but yeah.
How you die. Yeah.
But also,
not to discount what you said, or just saying adding that point.
Yeah. But there's also the factor of attachment. Some folks are so attached to things
to the
in
body.
life. Yeah. So they don't. So they always the fear of death comes from what they're going to be leaving behind. What they're leaving.
Yeah.
Family, friends, and then you really don't know where you're going. And if you've been hit with that scare tactic, heaven and hell, you start to reflect on your life, and you. Never mind. Tread lightly. Go ahead and say it. Tread lightly.
Disclaimer: the views of this panel does not reflect. Does not reflect, nor promote, nor try to tell anyone what they should or shouldn't understand or don't understand, believe in or believe not. Please, I repeat, disclaimer.
Well, it's all good.
When it comes to that place or to places.
Or where we go. It's the fear of the unknown, is what you're saying.
The fear of the unknown.
It's the fear of the unknown.
Hold on. This is things that people don't want to talk about. God level speaking. Who am I speaking with? Hi, J Love. Hi, honey.
The fear of death. Wow. I say, you fear death because you don't understand it. And sometimes, like you said, attachment. But once you understand your purpose and what you're living for, then you don't fear death as much. I would say just concentrate on your purpose and enjoy life while you have it. Enjoy living your purpose, and that would take away the fear of death. If you live your purpose to the best of your ability. Because I, too, had issues not too long ago, but a while ago. I want to say some months ago, and I was scared of death. And I think that what caused me to have my mental breakdown when I had flipped out and I was running around here like my head was chopped off and being differently what I usually would be because I was scared of something. Once you're scared of something, it will run you nuts. So overcoming the fear of it would be the best bet. When you fear something, it can hurt you. If you don't fear it, you're pretty much okay. So I say just concentrate on your purpose. Live, laugh, love, and enjoy.
All right.
I say.
Oh, man, that was good.
J Love has said a word.
Yeah. Thank you for calling in with that comment. We really appreciate it.
You're so welcome.
All right.
And she hit on something so profound, because one thing that stops us from expressing our perfection is fear itself. You know, I can't say that I'm completely without it, because some things that I would love to do, you know, those guys who jump out of planes and have those wing suits and just be flying through there with those wing suits on. I would love to do that. But there is a fear in me that just won't allow it.
You know, but have you ever zip lined?
Yeah, I've zip lined before. Zip line is cool.
It's the other stuff that scares you.
Well, it's you know, it's like and I know it's fear. I can't say that I would say I'm scared of it, but I understand, like you got this one shot, because that's something that's an all or nothing. Either you make it or you don't. Okay, there's no injuries. If something comes, there's no injuries. It's just done. Okay. You see what I'm saying? I ain't got enough options. That's what I'm saying.
Man.
You feel me?
Say you only get one ticket on this ride, man. One ticket. Sign this waiver.
Let's hope it goes well.
Sign this waiver. Your insurance paid. Oh, cool. Go on, put the suit on real quick.
That's right. But it looks exhilarating.
Yeah, it looked fun. From somebody else's perspective.
Yeah. I'll just keep watching the video.
I keep watching. Yeah, what you say? I'm gonna be safe.
Right. Man.
Mm.
So that's all I'm talking about when it comes to that. But then I don't have to do that to be perfect. But I do at some point. I would love to do something like that. I think I'm gonna start with just going deep sea diving first. I'll stay something safe, something that gives me options. Yeah. that just don't give me enough options.
Yeah.
John, have you zip line? Brother, have you zip line?
Oh no! I play it safe. I'm sorry, I play it safe.
But it was enough harnesses on that one.
That could be something that we could all do.
Go ahead. I'm gonna watch. You want me to film it? I got you.
No, that I have a fear of heights, but I keep imagining myself ziplining, just doing it one time,
It's only one time. It's a flip of a coin. You hear me?
You know No.
But one thing I know about me though, if something like that was stopping me from having an experience with somebody that I wanted to have an experience with. For instance, this is a true story. When I was in college, I had this girlfriend, and she loved going to Six Flags. And this is when I was staying in Texas, in Fort Worth. I was going to college in Arlington, and it was right around the corner from Six Flags. She bought us season passes. Now I haven't been to Six Flags since I was a little boy, and as a little boy, I got on the wrong ride, and it scared the crap out of me, and I never wanted to go back to that place. Every time I saw the place, it just brought this fear in me. So I never went back again. Now here it is. I skipped all my elementary and middle school and high school. Now I'm in college. Now all of a sudden this girl gonna throw me in this mix. Really, really love this girl, right? And so she took me to Six Flags, and she of course wanted to get on all the biggest rides. And so we standing in line. Of course, I'm the man. I can't be acting like no punk. So she like, yeah, we're gonna get on. I'm like, yeah, let's go do it. But at the same time, inside, I'm feeling like I'm about to go in surgery with no anesthesia, right? I know this is about to hurt. So I'm scared and everything else, but I can't let it show. So we go on all these rides. My knees are knocking and all this other kind of stuff, but I want to be able to enjoy this experience with her. Now, this also brings the concept. She's in this moment, she's in total bliss and enjoyment. Me, I'm in fear. Okay. So when we're talking about the concept of a state of mind, she's in heaven and I'm in hell at this time, standing side by side, right? Now, what I wanted to, because I wanted to have this experience with her and enjoy her. So since she got her season passes, I knew we was coming back at some point, and I didn't want to have this type of experience in this place again. So since I was in college, I only worked on the weekends. I DJ'd and stuff like that. While she was at work during the week, I went to Six Flags and I practiced. I got on every roller coaster that scared the crap out of me until I wasn't scared anymore. So I transcended that situation. The next time me and her went, I was dragging her to the roller coasters, so I was able to enjoy the experience with her yet again. And I wasn't afraid of it. So now we both had this high level of enjoyment, at that. So even with that, that's a sign of growth coming from that particular experience where it scared me. I had to get over that. I couldn't let my childhood trauma of that place follow me into this moment. This moment was bigger than my trauma. Okay. So anyway, so that's just another way that how we use pain to overcome our deficiencies. We get to the truth. I allowed my perfection to come through, and show you that this is all right. So if there's ever a moment, there might be a moment to where I will put on that wingsuit and go 10,000 feet up and jump out the car, out the plane. But I don't know if that would ever come, but we'll see. If it does, I'm just saying it's possible.
Right. I've seen too many bad, I don't know, I ain't gonna say too many bad videos, but one was enough. His cord got caught up, and that's too much. Anyway, Love Sean wrote a message. To watch someone who was dying is not easy, but that time is precious because it's your last moments. They fight to hold on. You give them permission to let go, and you really do.
Mm-hmm.
It depended. Well, Miss Love Sean, I am very appreciative of your comment.
Mm-hmm.
I truly understand the situation. My great grandmother, before she crossed over, everybody in the room didn't want her to go nowhere. We didn't want to let her go.
Mm-hmm.
And she made it very, 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 very clear. She said she was tired. I'm ready to go.
Yes.
Yeah.
Once the brain accepts accepts not wanting to be here anymore, there's nothing no one can do to stop that, and it truly is inevitable. It was a
Mm-hmm.
humbling experience for me, because the entire time, well, I ain't gonna say the entire time, the last moments that I spent with her, we went walking down the hallway, and I was holding her hand, and she was like, "I'm tired. I'm just tired. I'm just ready to go. I done did it all." She was 90 plus. I want to say 96, maybe 97. And I was like, man, that's kind of arrogant and bold of me to tell you you ain't tired. You got another 100 years.
Mm-hmm.
As much as I would like for that to be a reality, I had to accept the understanding that she was done. She felt like she did it all. She had 11 children and a plethora of grandchildren, so she done done it all, man.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it was tough. It was hard because she was the glue for my entire family on
Yeah.
my mother's side. I mean, like she was a true rock, like a true soldier, man, a true soldier. My bad, I'm getting emotional. Uh, but I do understand what you're saying though. And energy is like that. Like Brother Diamond said, is positive, negative, positive, negative, positive, negative, and it all attracts each other. So when you're in alignment like that and you charge up, you can hold someone from crossing over, even when they have accepted the inevitable. Um, Prime example, Matrix. Once Neo accepted, like, oh, this is the circle, this is completion, this is the positive, negative.
This is things that people don't want to talk about. God level speaking. Who am I speaking with?
Sean.
I love Sean.
Hey, Love Sean.
Peace, Queen. Peace, Queen.
Peace. I just
Go ahead.
this is Love Sean. I love Sean.
Mm-hmm.
We hear you, honey. Go right ahead.
I made that comment about death. Coincidentally, today is the day I lost my husband 7 years ago. So, and when we got to lose my husband, was diagnosed with cancer for the second time. I'm talking.
Yes, we can hear you.
I think she hears a delay.
We can hear you, Love Sean.
Okay.
But tell her there's a delay on her.
It's a delay on your end. Yeah.
Yeah. She might have to turn her.
Turn your TV off or whatever you're watching.
Your computer.
Just turn it off for right now. Okay. Go ahead.
So my husband passed the cancer. When he had cancer, he actually had got it for the second time. And when we went to the hospital, it was just like, it's nothing we can do. They gave him 2 days to 2 weeks to live. And it was like, he's like, I want you to go through this with me. And you do, you have vows through sickness and health. So that was something that I felt like I needed to honor. So every day, my husband didn't live 2 weeks, he lived 58 days. And I must say, in those 58 days, our family made some beautiful memories. He fought. He wasn't ready to go. I remember sometimes at night he would get scared. I could be asleep. He would throw water in my face to wake me up, and just because he wasn't ready. And then that kind of changed. He got sick, was diagnosed right before his birthday. So we wasn't sure if he was going to live for his birthday. So we had a big party like the week before. And I mean, the whole family came from all over just to celebrate his life. And, it was beautiful. I always used to tell my husband, I don't really have any family here where I live at in Chicago. So the one thing that he did give me was a family, because his family is huge. I mean, he's a nice kid nice child out of 13, so they got a big family. So we spent a lot of time together, and we had some ups and downs in our marriage, but I can say before he left, we were able to reconcile. We were able to be at peace, and he left here at peace.
That's beautiful.
And like I said, we forgave one another. I think forgiveness is just really key. I'm kind of definitely in my feelings. I got the call also, like right now, my mother-in-law is not doing good. She's not doing well. So I'm just in my feelings, but I've learned I didn't want to see my husband take his last breath, but I kind of knew the day that he was going to leave us. I knew it was his day he was leaving. So death is a part of life. My mother, real quick, this year, she had me to take her to make all her arrangements. So, and the one thing she kept saying, I don't want things to be hard for you. She wasn't even concerned about her. She's like, I don't want things to be hard for you. But I'm not going to say I'm not scared to die, but I do know that death is a part of life. You're born to live, you're born to die. And that's just something that we all will have to face. All have to come to terms with. Like I said, just kind of in my feelings. Brother Newborn just kind of brought him out. Just like I said today. It's 7 years since I lost my husband. I do miss him, but I wouldn't want to keep him to have him suffer for me to be selfish. Good show. Well, I didn't really comment. So these last 2 shows, I'm just learning some different things. As I always say, keep doing what you're doing, because you are teaching us something.
All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you, beloved.
That's peace, peace.
Yeah, that was. Oh
yeah. Ms. Love Shine, if you can hear me, I want to say condolences to you and yours. I also want to say peace and love. And we are because of you. We exist because of you. And once again, this platform is for anybody that feel the need, they want to share something. We don't mind lending the ear to listen, because we are of service to our community. That's the purpose of this podcast. We are of service to our community. We learning, teaching, growing, and developing new experiences amongst each other. So, Ms. Love Shine, we appreciate you calling in. We appreciate you calling in. Jay loves you too. I ain't forgot about you. Jay loves you too.
Don't you forget, Jay. Don't you forget, Jay. We're at 1 hour and 58 minutes. Yeah. With that being said, we're going to go ahead and head on out of here. But before we do have a Facebook page that we created from the idea of Jeremy. It was Jeremy that asked if we had a Facebook page, and yes, we do. We just created it. It is a positive energy only, positive vibes only, good information, and helpful links to whatever a person is going through or whatever topic that we are talking about that week, prior to, anything that can help a person evolve. And that's why we created it. It's called Things That People Don't Want to Talk About. And there's and there it is. The picture in the background is exactly what you will see when you put in things that people don't want to talk about. So we will be sending out invites, and we're just going to grow from there. Yeah. Thank you. I didn't have my piece prepared this week. So John is going to step in for me this Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
How are you, John?
No such thing as death. I am eternal soul. I am love. I am loving. I am lovable. I am a lover of life. I am a lover for life. I am the love of my life that I've been searching for. Through the tough times, I am optimistic. I am often gifted with the opportunity for self-fulfillment. Competition is the illusion. So I am never winning, never losing. I am supreme being as a human. I am intuitive. I am in tune with higher vibrations in the form of higher music. I am awakening in a lucid dream called my reality. I am creating it. I am amazing, and I am the greatest in the greatest sense. I am in a long distance relationship with the drama, and with each breath, I am healed from my trauma. Yeah. You see, I am inward looking. I am the inward. Yeah. Never ending, infinite, independent, indicative of a mind that's inquisitive. I am inventive. I am incentive seeking. My intent lives within. It's not homeless, but it's intense. I am lit like an incense. I am interesting. I am insightful. I am laughing out loud with an inside joke. I am Black Boy Joy. I am an influential. Like a hip hop beat, I am instrumental. Chest out, but I am invested in my health. I am spiritually free, but I am indebted to God. See, life is a schooling, so I am an intern. Like the spirit of your thoughts, I am in words. So many in words that I am, but not nigger. Yeah.
I had to turn my mic back on.
Love that.
Oh my
Love
God.
it.
Loved it.
Right.
Loved it. With that being said, this is Things That People Don't Want to Talk About. We will see you all back here next week. Peace. John, you got me?
Yeah.